woman to the White House, Kamala
Nebraska. How do you cast your vote?
Nebraska, home of 4 tribal nations today, and icons Malcolm X, Standing, and Willa Cather, and our homegrown boy, Tim Walsh.
and the quality of life capital of the country, Lincoln, capital of the nation, where the Biden-Harris team and unions are ruling the heartland.
In Omaha, known as Kamaha, but we will protect the blue dot.
Are ready for it. Nebraska proudly casts our vote for Kamala Harris and Coach Tim Walsh.
Nevada. How do you cast your vote?
As a survivor of the largest mass shooting in modern American history, I'm voting for Harris because America is done running from gun violence. Pretending books are more dangerous to second graders than assault rifles. No stolen lives, no more silent streams, no more shattered families. As Vice President, she helped pass the nation's first significant gun law in 30 years. Nevada is the battle-born state, and Kamala Harris was born for this battle. Now our chair, Danielle Monroe.
What's going on? Appreciate the pull up as always.
Battleground state in the country, home of the late great Senator Harry Reid, the only Latina ever to serve in the U.S. Senate. Catherine Cortez Masto. And we are the first and only women majority state legislature.
They're doing the roll right now,
Black
guys.
woman chair, I proudly deliver the state's 48 votes for the next president of the United States of America, Kamala Harris.
New Hampshire. How do you cast your vote?
Yes, man, what's going on, man?
My name is Joanne
Watching history,
Dowdell
man. Enjoy.
from the state home of the nation's first primary, New Hampshire, where we stand granite strong.
Hope
We
all
are
is well with
so
you, dear.
proud of the
Thank you for
women
pulling up on me,
throughout
man.
our state, committed, building a future of opportunity and blazing the way for all of us.
No, we're not. We're not.
It is my
We
pleasure
survived
to
a lot in
introduce
America,
our
man. We don't
youngest
survive it.
candidate,
Hey,
Aliana
Jimmy ain't been doing no shows, man.
Mansour.
He went back to school.
The great Live Free or Die state of New Hampshire casts all 34 of our votes for our Black woman and first South Asian president, Harris.
You put both of them in. Do you see that? They have been making this about women, so get ready for it. Tonight might be the man's night.
Today we come together as one nation.
It's be about women,
Under
G.
one
That's what's
group.
gonna push
Nothing
over the
can
top.
stop
You're gonna
us
get the woman vote.
No matter who you are, no matter where you are, represent your state as we unite for the future.
New Jersey, how do you cast your vote?
You miss George Gibson, man. You miss
Governor Phil Murphy.
Hold on, let me turn it down real quick.
We're from the
That's
sea,
you in Georgia,
baby.
right?
And you're
If
not.
you still.
In the great garden.
But that little John come out and do the thing. It was pretty slick. If you get a chance, I'm sure it's gonna be on Twitter.
My name is Dr. Joey Perella, pronouns she, her, her. I'm a proud resident of the Garden State. I'm proud and with Kamala Harris and Tim Walz.
Kids,
because
you
they
still
stand
over here?
with
The first year in the Democratic Party. You got everybody. She, her, him, Tim.
It's time to turn the page on Trump. Thank you.
You're all mayor. As long as you're a mayor.
I'm Leroy Jones, the chairman of the New Jersey State League, the home of the late Whitney Houston.
Oh, Whitney.
And New Jersey's amazing delegates cast 2 votes present and 142 votes for Kamala Harris, President of the United States of America. When we fight, we win. We fight, we win. When we fight, we win.
Born into it.
New Mexico, how do you cast your vote?
Buenos noches.
Watching history, though, guys. We are watching
Chair
history.
Jessica Vasquez here with our delegates from the land enchantment.
I'm going to get in on this
great
picture. Y'all see him
state
trying
of
to get in there?
Mexico, where we live our family values,
Hillary.
women, love our land, our water, our blue skies, our green tree, and our sunsets. We are proud to cast 45 votes for Kamala Harris and Tim Walz.
New York, how do you cast your vote?
Oh, Spike.
Mr. Secretary, my name is Henry Garrido. I am from the great state of New York. Unions not only built the Empire State, they built a strong middle class across this country. That is why I'm so proud to introduce the governor of the greatest labor state of the country, Governor Kathy Hochul.
Right? A lot of stars there, buddy.
As governor, greatest state that ever existed. Hey, for New Yorkers, get used to it. From Seneca Falls, the birthplace of the women's rights movement, to Stonewall, the birthplace of the LGBTQ movement,
I think I might have missed it.
to Stone King Mountain, the birthplace of the environmental justice movement, and the birth of the labor movement. We are all not just the birthplace of great progressive movements, we are the birthplace of Shirley Chisholm. We are the birthplace of Gerald Ferraro. And we are the home of Hillary Clinton. That's why, as the first woman governor of New York, I am so proud to cast 298 votes to make Kamala Harris the first female president of the United States of America.
Nice week, though. They got the PewDiePie one. That's cool. You can play
North Carolina. How do you cast your vote?
My name is Anderson Clayton. I have the honor of serving as the youngest state party chair in this country. And North Carolina is the home of Anthony Hamilton. Yeah, Governor Hunt, Dr. Reverend William Barber, Nina Simone represent a new South.
Oh.
And we are proud to be that again this year by electing Josh Stop, Allison Riggs, Wesley Harris, Anita Earls, and what else that's on our ballot this year. We are going to make sure that we put Democrats on the ballot and in people's and minds. North Carolina gives 131 votes to the phenomenal Kamala Harris.
North Dakota. How do you cast your vote?
Mr. Secretary, the Democrats of North Dakota, the Peace Garden State, are proud to cast our 17 votes for Vice President Kamala Harris and the best neighbor you could ever hope to have, Governor Tim Walz, for president as president of the United States of America. Let's go!
That's better.
So now, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Cassidy. This is the DNC roll call, and tonight, your vote is the future.
Northern Mary Island. How do you cast your vote?
Hey, Tiro, and hello, everyone. We are the Northern Mariana Islands, where our customs, our culture, land, and our oceans breathe life into our people. The earth is not red or blue. The earth is, and we must protect it. Home to some of the living legends in celestial navigation and to some of the friendliest people in the Pacific. We are the blue waves of the Pacific, and we are to cast all 11 votes for our MVP, Kamala Harris. Viva Marianas! Viva Harris Walz!
Oh, look. The president is from Ohio.
Ohio.
It's Ohio.
How do you cast your vote?
Come on, man. Come on. They could have did Ohio a little bit better.
OH!
Ohio.
Mr. Secretary, Ohioans know how to make history. We put a man on. We are the founding home of the AFL-CIO. We enshrined abortion in our state constitution by 13 points, and we are going to send Sharon on back to the U.S. Senate. As the first woman to lead Ohio Democrats, I am put to cast our ballots for the first woman to be president of the United States. Mr. Secretary, we cast one vote present and 142 votes for Kamala Harris and Tim Walz.
Did players and he had a lot to choose from. Isaac's brother, Roger.
Oklahoma. How do you cast your vote?
Hello from Oklahoma. We fight for the future for all Oklahomans can be proud of. where working families thrive. Our diversity is our strength. And our values like freedom, equality, opportunity puts us ahead and makes Oklahoma proud. We are 36 votes for Kamala Harris and Tim Walz.
Oregon, you cast your vote.
That's the song right there.
Right, the first state in the nation go to the presidential election with all mail-in voting. Oregon is proud to voting rights in America.
And Haley, from the heart of the beautiful Pacific Northwest,
Yeah, all right.
Oregon protects our planet and fights for LGBTQ equality.
And where we believe that reproductive rights are human rights. Oregon has 78 votes for Kamala Harris.
Party people in the place to be when I might at the DNC. It goes 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, let's go!
The Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. How do you cast your vote?
Let's go, baby. Yeah, let's go. My name is Marijuana Walker from the great city of Aliquippa, Beaver County. My city is a city of legends, the only high school in America, 3 Hall of Famers. I took this seat in 2009, just was murdered. I wanted to do better. 15 years gone. 12 years this city has been under my watch. I'm grateful to lead my city. I'm grateful for the state of Pennsylvania. Everyone in this room, I love this state. Thank you.
I'm Governor Shapiro. The proud governor of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, the birthplace of democracy, the place of freedom, the greatest Commonwealth of all. And together, Pennsylvania cast 178 votes. The next Madam President of the United States, Kamala Harris, and Vice President Tim Walz.
Okay. Messed up. They don't even got nobody in kind.
Puerto Rico. How do you cast your vote?
That's messed up.
Buenas noches, Puerto Rico. This territory known as the Commonwealth of Puerto Rico and next state of the United States. It's 60 votes para la primera mujer afroamericana de ascendencia asiática y caribeña que será presidenta de los Estados Unidos, Kamala Harris. ¡Viva!
DNC, let's go! Roll call, keep it coming now. Roll call, keep it coming now. Roll call, keep it coming now. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, let's go!
Rhode Island. How do you cast your vote?
I am Joe Shikachis from the Rhode Island House. We are the smallest state, but we have the biggest ideas. To the nation's first wind farm in historic climate, we continue leading the way on sustainability and housing. The deep blue ocean state, proud to cast one vote present and 34 ballots for the next president of the United States, Kamala Harris. Yeah!
South Carolina. How do you cast your vote?
I'm Crystal Spain. I'm Crystal Spain, chair of the South Carolina Democratic Party. Hello from the great state of South Carolina, where we pick the home of the DNC chair, Jamie Harrison, the home of the first Black Panther, Chadwick Boseman.
Uh-oh. What's up? Uh-oh. Is that me?
National Football Champions, the mighty Lady Gamecocks.
Grab that mic.
Senator Barr Matthews, one of the sister senators, and John Ebony, Profiles in Courage Award winner. We stopped the total abortion ban in South Carolina. Like us, Kamala has proven that she has the courage to fight and will fight for all Americans. South Carolina is not going back. We're going forward on reproductive rights. We're going forward voting rights. We're going forward against hate crimes. Forward with a prosecutor and not a crook. That's why we are proud to cast our 65 delegates for Kamala Harris. ¡Sí se puede!
South Dakota. How do you cast?
How mitakiapi, chante washte na betunzo. In my beautiful Lakota language, that means hello, my relatives. I shake your hand with a happy heart. That is the spirit of my beloved South Dakota. My name is Chante Redis, and I want to say that my people, the Ocheti Shakoan, are still here.
History in the making.
7 council fires are still here. Let me tell you, Kamala Harris presidency will mean for me, my friends, and my community, more importantly, more opportunities, more good paying jobs, better health care, and a quality education. That is the future we deserve, and it is the future we will win on November 5th when we elect Kamala Harris.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. The state of South Dakota is part of such a historic moment in our country's history. We are that is proud of our hardworking farmers and ranchers that celebrate 9 tribal nations and their incredible cultures, where natural beauty can be seen from the Big Sioux River to Mount Rushmore. South Dakota is honored to cast all 20 of our votes for Vice President Kamala Harris, who will soon be known as Madam President.
How do you cast your votes?
Mr. Secretary, the great state of Tennessee, birthplace of rock and roll, down to the blues, home of 7 HBCs, and the state that gave women the right to vote. From the bluffs of Memphis to the peaks of Knox City, the movement for justice, rooted in love and Tennessee, is
is still strong. It is a movement where kids are free from gun violence, a movement where women have the right to choose, a movement where working people get access to economic opportunity, a movement where those who have been pushed to the periphery brought up to the center, a movement where those who have been pushed down lifted up. It is alive in Tennessee because we believe that justice will roll down like waters and righteous like an ever-flowing stream, which is why we are so proud to have been the first state in the union to have pledged all of our delegates to Kamala D. Harris.
We cast 72 votes for the first woman next president of the United States, Kamala D. Harris.
Come on, DNC party people, come on. Go, go. Come on, DNC party people, come on.
Texas, how do you cast your vote?
Hello, Chicago! I'm Eva from Corpus Christi, Texas, home of Selena Quintanilla, and I'm here to introduce native Texan Cecile Richards.
I'm proud to be here tonight representing a tradition in Texas, progressivism, and my late mother, Richard, the governor of Texas, and passing it on to another great Texas heroine, Kate Cox.
Kate Cox, and I love being a mom. I have 2 children, and my husband and I have always wanted a third. But when I got it, doctors told us our baby would never survive. And if we get an abortion, it would put a future pregnancy at risk. Trump didn't care. And because of his abortion bans, I leave my home. There's nothing pro-family about abortion bans. There's nothing pro-life about letting women suffer and even die. Today, because I found a way to access abortion care, pregnant again. Thank you. And my baby is due January, just in time to see Kamala Harris sworn President of the United States.
Mr. Secretary, my name is Gilberto Hinojosa of the Texas Democratic Party, and as the nation's battleground state with 40 electoral votes on behalf of 30 million Americans, Texas cast votes present and 263 freedom for the future, for the first woman to serve as the next president of the United States, Kamala Harris.
What do you guys think? Or what I think?
Utah, how do you cast your vote?
Utah, 8 tribal nations, the crossroads of the West, the Beehive State, the host of the 2030 Winter Olympics, the young, fastest growing state in the nation, and the battleground state. Mr. Secretary, we proudly cast 34 votes for Vice President Kamala Harris!
Vermont, how do you cast your vote?
Vermont knows the value of public education. We
have a teacher as our congresswoman. And in 1777, we were the first state to place public education in our Constitution. As someone with significant learning disabilities, I know the value of investing in every single child. We are called Vermont home, and we are proud to cast our 24 votes for Kamala Harris because we are not going back.
The U.S. Virgin Islands. How do you cast your vote?
Mr. Secretary, we are proud to call the Virgin Islands of the United States our home, a place of resistance and freedom. Alexander Hamilton, the first slave rebellion in the Western Hemisphere, the fire-burned queens. We are proud to celebrate a nominee of Caribbean heritage.
From America's Caribbean, the place where the sun rises first in America, from the place of great liberty and the vacation of President Joe Biden, the Virgin Islanders are strong, resilient, and committed to and passionate to vote
I think we almost there, guys. Speech should start soon. I thought it was important to get the vote. Make it official, right? We have it official for the record.
The Commonwealth of Virginia. How do you cast your vote?
Mr. Secretary. Mr. Secretary, the Commonwealth of Virginia is proudly represented by Senator Mark Warner and Senator Tim Kaine, majority in the House of Representatives, with 6 Congress members and majorities in the General Assembly. We also are proud to be represented by 25,000 hardworking, mostly union workers who build freedom. Who build freedom by building aircraft carriers and submarines. Warner.
Virginia, for this year, return Tim Kaine to the United States Senate. Our Commonwealth of Virginia is proud to cast all 119 votes for the next President Kamala Harris.
Washington, how do you cast your vote?
From the amber waves of verdant origins of eastern Washington to the iconic water Sailor She, Washington stands proud as a part of the Blue Wall. I'm first South Asian woman leading a state party. I'm honored to pledge 9 votes present and a lucky 101 votes. Vice President Kamala Davy Harris.
West Virginia, how do you cast your vote?
My name is Jean Evansmore, and I'm 83 years old.
Where's West Virginia now? Let me.
And as such, I am the of the delegates in West Virginia. Most 83-year-olds that I know are spending time with their grandchildren or traveling. But I'm here suited up and ready to battle. Because I will not repeat, I will not let everything I've fought for be taken away by Donald Trump.
My name is Catherine Prather. I am 18 years old, and I am the youngest delegate from West Virginia. I'm suited up and ready for battle. I will not let my freedoms and my future be taken away by Donald Trump. We're proud to cast West Virginia's Lord delegate for the next president of the United States, Kamala Harris.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is DJ Cassidy. Are you ready?
My home state of Wisconsin. How do you cure vote?
Thank you, Badger Ray, for all your good work. As a proud governor of the great state of Wisconsin, we're home of the Green Bay Packers. We're home of the Wisconsin Badgers. We're home of the Milwaukee Brewers. Milwaukee Bucks, as well as U.S. Senator Tammy Baldwin, and our great congressional foe, Mark Cocan. I'm here because I'm jazzed as hell to announce that Wisconsin passed one vote present and 94 votes were for, where are we at? Got me going here. Former state, oh my God. I love you, Jody. 94 votes for. I'll get there, Jason. 94 votes for former Wisconsinite vice president and our next president of the United States of America, Kamala Harris.
Wyoming. You cast your vote.
Mr. Secretary, Delegate, my name's Joe Barbudo, and these folks around me, we are Army representing the great state of Wyoming. Both the first state and territory in this nation to recognize a right to vote, and the state that 100 years ago elected Democrat Taylor Ross, our nation's first female governor. With that legacy in mind and heart, the Equality State cast all our votes for the woman who will be the first woman president of the United States. Now, Kamala Harris!
That was solid. Well, I guess we gotta do it too.
The great state of Minnesota. How do you cast your vote?
Hello, Minnesota! My name is Hans Storbeck and Tim Wall, neighbor, coach, and favorite teacher. We were excited to go to a room every day. If you've ever been in high school, you know that can be rare. opened our eyes to the world. He taught us how to talk about global respect, curiosity, and kindness, even especially when we disagreed. But he wasn't just a great teacher, also a great neighbor and friend. In fact, when he was of a budget battle as governor of our state, he still found time to attend my brother's funeral. Mr. Walls means the world to my family. He's always been there for us, and that's how I know he'll always be for you as vice president.
Thank you, Hom. Minnesota, let me hear you. There you go. 14 years in the National Football League taught me a lot about leadership. A good leader cannot be selfish. He has to look out for his team.
I believe.
Coach Walsh is unselfish as they come. He has led Minnesota with honesty and integrity. And in November, Minnesota is going to send Tim Walz and Kamala Harris to the White House. Let's go!
I'm Klobuchar, the senator from the great state of Minnesota, where everyone votes and purple reigns.
And I'm Tina Smith from the great state of Minnesota. The next Vice President of the United States, Tim Walz. Minnesota, we can vote present, and we deliver 81 votes for Kamala Harris and Tim Walz.
The great state of California. How do you cast your vote?
My name's Governor Gibson. From the great state of Nancy Pelosi. I come from a state, a nation of dreamers, of doers, of entrepreneurs, of innovators. It itself on being on the leading and cutting edge of new ideas. California is the most diverse state in the world's most diverse democracy. And we pride ourselves on our ability to live together and advance together, prosper together across every conceivable and imaginable difference. But the thing we pride ourselves most on is we believe the future happens in California first. And Democrats, I've had the privilege for over 20 years to see that future taking shape with a star in Alameda courtroom, Kamala Harris. I saw that star fighting for criminal, racial justice, economic justice, social justice. I saw that star get even brighter as a general of California, as a United States Senator, and a President of the United States of America. Kamala Harris has always done the right thing. A champion for voting rights, civil rights, LGBTQ rights, the rights for women and girls. So Democrats and independents, for us to do the right thing, and that is to allow Kamala Harris as the next president of the United States of California. We proudly cast our 482 votes for the next president, Kamala Harris.
thank you to everyone who participated in our celebratory roll call. Please know how critical you are to this process, both now and earlier this month when we conducted our virtual roll call. I am thrilled to reaffirm Kamala Harris, the Democratic nominee for President of the United States. Pursuant to the convention rules of procedure, President Kamala Harris has been invited to make an acceptance speech give on Thursday, August 22nd. But now, special surprise, it's my pleasure to introduce our party's official nominee for President of the United States, live from my home, Wisconsin, Vice President Kamala Harris.
I'ma wait through the water till the tide don't move. I'ma ride through your borders, call me bulletproof. Lord, forgive me, I've been running through. I'ma wait through till the deep blue. Good evening, Milwaukee. And hello to everyone joining us from exciting Chicago. The delegates at the Democratic National Convention, they just completed their roll call. And they have nominated Waltz and me to be the next Vice President of the United States of America. And I thank there and here for believing in what we can do together. We are so honored to be your nominees. This is a people-powered campaign, and we will chart a new way forward. A future of freedom, opportunity, of optimism, faith. So to everyone in Chicago and across America, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And you're going to hear from our wonderful second gentleman shortly. I'll see you in 2 days, Chicago.
Please welcome personality, loud and proud Latina, Anna Naro.
Buenas noches, Chicago. So, are you excited? Wow, what energy, what a moment. To tell you, I will never stop being the little refugee who came to this country at the age of 8. Thank you for inviting me to be here. Welcome to the second night of the Democratic National Convention. Let me talk about the Kamala Harris I know. Legitimately a joyful, optimistic leader. She cares about policy, yes, but she also cares about people and how that policy real people, not just the members of my. And you know what else? Kamala Harris, she likes dogs. And my dog likes her. Dogs are good just of character. So are cats. We cannot elect a president who does not like dogs or hangs around with people who shoot them. Now, let's be serious. Donald Trump and his minions call a communist. I know communists. I fled communism from Nicaragua when I was 8. I don't take it lightly. And let me tell you what communist dictators do. And it's never just for one day. They attack the free press. They call them the enemy of the people, like Ortega de Nicaragua. They put their unqualified relatives in cushy government jobs so they can get rich politicians, like the Castros do in Cuba. Refuse to accept legitimate elections and call for violence to stay in power, like Maduro is doing right now in Venezuela. Now you tell me something. Do any of those things sound familiar? Is there anybody running for president who reminds you of that? And I know one thing, it's not Kamala Harris. That's the America we love. It's not the freedom we treasure. Last night, we heard President Biden.
We have a slight moment. Thank you guys so much for joining us here with the Conscious Moron. We are at the second day of the DNC convention.
But he loves his country more.
Sabbat.
Every American needs to love our country more. Every American has the duty to put our country first.
Right.
Country first before party. Country first before political ambition. Country first before habit. And in this election, putting country first means one thing and thing only, voting for Kamala Harris. And that is what this night is about. That is what we're going to talk about tonight. So you know what? Let's get it started. Let's get this fiesta going.
The ayes are 50, the nays are 50. The Senate is equally divided. The Vice President votes in the affirmative, and the motion is confirmed. And the conclusion as amended is adopted. The Vice President votes in the affirmative, and the motion to proceed is agreed to. On this vote, the yeas are 50, the nays are 50. The Senate being equally divided, the Vice President votes in the affirmative, and the as amended is passed.
It is my honor to present the golden medal to Vice President Harris, 32 tiebreak.
Please welcome Senate Majority Leader and New York Senator Chuck Schumer.
Wasn't that a great roll call? Now just let me hear you if you're ready for President Kamala Harris. Friends, we're here to talk about tomorrow and building a better tomorrow for all Americans. This November,
We can choose a brighter, a fairer, a freer future, or we can relive our dark night of Trump's American car. Only one candidate will move America forward, Kamala Harris. Vice President Harris is the best partner Senate Democrats could ever have asked. Under her and President Biden leadership,
Hold on, I gotta click.
Senate Democrats lowered prescription drug prices and created millions of good-paying American jobs. I worked with Kamala Harris when she was Senator Harris. I saw a leader who was fearless, who stood up for middle-class families like the one he was raised in, who focused on things that really mattered. Helping parents raise kids, safe neighborhoods, safe schools, and building an opportunity economy that gives everyone a shot at the American. She will lead America forward into her future, but she can't do it alone. She needs a Democratic majority in the Senate of the United States. Now, my friends, 2 years ago, the naysayers, Senate Democrats, stood no chance in the midterm. I told them, just you wait. Keep the Senate and maybe pick up a seat or two. And that's exactly what happened. Well, ladies and gentlemen, my good friends at this convention, I am telling all of you now, we're going to hold the Senate in, and we're poised to pick up seats. A Democratic majority to create good-paying jobs for costs, to defend a woman's right to choose, to deliver for communities back home. Our senators are doing it, like Jackie Robinson, delivering high-speed rail for Nevada. John Tester, bringing high-tech jobs in Montana. And Bobby K. Sherrod Brown and Tammy Baldwin and Martin fixing bridges in Pennsylvania and Ohio and Wisconsin and New Mexico. We also have amazing candidates. Ruben Gallego, Angela Also Brooks, Andy Kim, Alyssa Slotkin, Lisa Blunt, Rochester, Carlo Red, Debbie Mucarsel Powell. Folks, listen to this. More than half of our candidates are candidates of color. We're making it look like America. Now let's compare that with Senate Republicans. Senate Republicans pretend about middle-class families, but they voted no on expanding the child tax credit, and Jay Vance didn't even show up to vote. Senate Republicans tend to care about the border, but they voted no on the strongest border bill in a decade. Republicans tend to care about freedom, voted no on a woman's right to choose, no to safeguard IVF, no birth control. That is a taste of their extreme agenda. Is that what we want for America? Do we want a Republican Senate that assaults reproductive freedom? Do we want a Republican Senate that cuts taxes for the rich, rigs the game for big oil and big pharma? Well, folks, the choice is ours. Now let me
Hey, Creative, how you doing? Good to see you.
Let me close on a note. As the highest ranking elected official in American history, I want my grandkids and all grandkids to never face discrimination because of who they are. But Donald Trump, this is a guy who peddles stereotypes. He even invites supremacists to Mar-a-Lago. And unfortunately, his prejudice goes in all directions. He fuels Islamophobia and issues a Muslim ban as president. Tonight, folks, I am wearing blue square to stand up to anti-Semitism, to stand up to all hate. Our children, our grandchildren, no matter their race, no matter their creed or family, deserve better than Donald Trump's American carnage. So, are you ready to make Donald Trump never, ever gets near the White House again? So let's elect Harris, Tim Walz, and a Democratic majority in this, and keep the torch of freedom burning bright for generations to come. On to victory and number.
We will build what I call an opportunity economy. I will take on the high costs most Americans. Compare my plan with what Trump intends to do. He wants to impose what in fact a national sales tax on everyday products and basic necessities that we import from other countries. It will mean higher prices on just about everyone daily needs. Donald Trump's plan would cost a typical $3,900 a year. He repealed the Affordable Care Act, which 45 million Americans rely on for health care. He plans to give massive tax cuts year after year, and he plans to cut corporate taxes by over $1 trillion. That if you want to know who someone cares about, look who they fight for. We kept the price of insulin at $35 a month and the total cost of prescription drugs at $2,000 for seniors. And just yesterday, we announced that we are lowering price for 10 more life-saving drugs. As president, I will work to build the housing we need. At the end of my first term, we will end America's shortage by building 3 million new homes and rentals affordable for the middle class. More than 100 Americans will get a tax cut by restoring the earned tax credit and the child tax credit, which millions of Americans with children got to keep their hard-earned income. We will provide $6,000 in tax relief to families during the first year of a child's life. Now is the time to chart a new way. I will fight to give money back to working and middle-class Americans. Increase the security and stability financially of your family and expand opportunity for working and middle Americans.
Please welcome Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders.
Thank you. Thank you. My fellow Americans, it is an honor. It is an honor to be with you
I have a
tonight
kid too. That's
because we're laying the groundwork for Kamala Harris to become our next president. Let me tell you why it is so important. I want you all to remember where we were 3.5 years ago. We were in the midst of the worst public crisis in 100 years and the worst economic downturn since the Depression. 3,000 Americans were dying every day, and our hospitals were overwhelmed with COVID patients. All across the country, businesses were shutting down. Unemployment was soaring. Workers were losing their health insurance. Schools were closing. State and city budgets were running out of money. People were being evicted from their homes. Children in America were going hungry. That was reality the Biden-Harris administration faced as they entered the Oval Office. A nation suffering, a nation frightened, and people looking to their government for support. And within 2 months of taking office, our government did respond. We passed the American Rescue Plan, provided $1,400 for every man, woman, and child in the working class. We extended and expanded benefits for the unemployed, provided emergency assistance for small businesses to stay open, guaranteed health care coverage to 10 million of Americans through one of the largest expansions of Medicaid in history. Provided rent relief and mortgage assistance, which did tenants and homeowners from being evicted. We established emergency food programs for hungry children and protected the pensions of millions of union workers and retirees from being slashed by up to 65%. Oh, and by the way, we childhood poverty by over 40% to add the child tax credit. Thank you, President Biden. Thank you, Vice President Harris. Thank you, Democratic Congress. Now, I say all this not to relive that difficult moment, but to make one simple point. When the political will is there, government can effectively deliver for the people of our country. And now we need to summon that will again, because too many of Americans are struggling every day to just get by, to put food on the table, to pay the rent, and to get the health care. Brothers and sisters, but we need an economy that works all of us, not just the billionaire class. My fellow Americans, when 60% of our people live paycheck to paycheck, the top 1% have never, ever had it so good. And these oligarchs tell us we shouldn't tax the rich. The oligarchs tell us we shouldn't take price gouging. We shouldn't extend Medicare to cover dental, hearing, and we shouldn't increase Social Security benefits for struggling. Well, I've got some bad news for them. That is precisely what we are going to do. And we're going to win this struggle because this is precisely what the American people want from their government. My friends, at the very top of that to-do list is the need to get big money out of our political process. Billionaires in both parties should not be able to buy elections, including primary elections. For the sake of our democracy, we must overturn the disastrous United Supreme Court decision move toward public funding of elections. And let me tell you what else we must do. We need to join the rest of the industrialized world and guarantee health care to all people, human right, not a privilege. We need to raise the minimum wage to a we need to pass the PRO Act so that workers can organize in unions and gain the decent pay and benefits they deserve. We need to strengthen public education, raise teachers' salaries, and make sure that every American, regardless of income, receives the higher education he or she needs. We need to take on big pharma and cut our prescription drug costs in half so that we no longer pay more than other countries. Joe and Kamala made sure that no senior in America pays over $35 a month for insulin. We need to make sure that reality is true for every American. I look forward to working with Kamala and Tim to pass this agenda. And let us be very clear. This is not a radical agenda. Let me tell you what a radical agenda is. And that is Trump's Project 2025. At a time of massive income and wealth inequality, giving more tax breaks to billionaires is radical. Putting budgets to cut Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid is radical. Letting polluters destroy our planet is radical. And my friends, we won't let that happen. Fellow Americans, in the last 3.5 years, working together, we have accomplished more than any government since ER. But much, much more remains to be done. We must summon the courage to stand up to wealth and power and deliver justice for people and abroad. Abroad, we must end this horrific war in Gaza. Bring home the hostages and demand immediate ceasefire. At home right here, we must take on big pharma, big oil, big ag, and all the other corporate monopolists whose greed is denying progress for working people. On November 5th, let us elect Harris as our president, and let's go forward to create the nation we know we can become. Thank you all very much.
Please welcome Illinois Governor Jay Beesker.
Fellow friends, welcome to Chicago. We're an American city in a proud blue state. Our patriotism was formed in dust and in fire and in the steel we fought to survive both. Our love country has been a tapestry of faith, weaves from Abraham Lincoln reuniting a house dead to Barack Obama declaring blue states and red states make one United States. Now, Illinois' presidential degree is
unmatched. And given that Vice President Harris spent some of her early life right here, I speak for the entire Illinois delegation, and I say we claim her too. Now, one president we will ever claim is the con artist the Republican aided in Milwaukee last month. Donald Trump once called Chicago embarrassing. To quote a great Chicagoan who won 6 world championships on the very grounds, we take that personally. I had to govern for 2 years while Trump was president. Let me tell you what's embarrassing. Illinois, we passed a massive bill to fix our roads and bridges. When Donald Trump proposed his own plan, he'd write around and called it stupid. He eliminated the grocery tax. Donald hasn't been in a grocery store since his first bankruptcy. Illinois invested in clean energy and the jobs it brings. Donald claimed that windmills in the ocean made the little baddie. COVID, we supported small businesses and jobs. Donald told us to inject bleach. Trump thinks that we should trust him on the economy. He claims to be very rich, but take it from an actual billionaire. Trump is rich in only one thing: sanity. Now, I meet with business leaders all the time, and there's one universal thing they all need. People. They need more.
Oh, we are having a technical glitch right now. I believe it's the deep state messing with. That could be absolutely wrong. I mean,
The freedom, anti-family policies of MAGA Republicans are driving workers away. Americans don't want to be forced to drive 100 miles to deliver a baby because a draconian law shut down the maternity ward. Americans want the hope of through IVF, not the fear that it might be taken. Americans with LGBTQ kids want them facing discrimination at school because the state sanctioned it. Americans want to go to their neighborhood grocery store and not have to worry about some random guy open carrying an AR-15. Americans don't want their kids to be taught in history class that slavery was a jobs program. And if Americans are black or brown, they will get promoted at work without being derided as a hire for the sin of being successful, not white. Let's be clear. It's not woke that limits economic growth. It's weird. And these guys aren't just, they're dangerous. Democrats are for taxes and higher wages, less inflation, and more business. We just think it's wrong to craft those policies for Elon Musk and not for everyday work people. That includes a secure retirement and good health care. We think the government should help prosper, not police who you're sleeping with. More than anything, Democrats want economic policies that are kind, not cruel. But Trump chooses cruel every time. After all, every achieved in his own life has been by hurting someone else. Kamala Harris and Tim Walz spent their lives lifting people up, not pushing down. They know that a White House that leads with kindness looks at someone who is struggling and sees not they might cost society, but what they might create for it. Americans want policies that give everyone a chance to make it to the middle class. They want small businesses, and Democrats want to cut this for everyday people. More than anything, Kamala Harris and Tim want a country where we can all live with a little serenity. The serenity that comes with a balanced checkbook, an affordable grocery bill, and a housing market that has for everyone. If there's one thing I know about Donald Trump, not bringing anyone any kind of serenity. We have a choice, America, between who left our country a total mess and the woman who had 4 years cleaning it up. And time we stop expecting women to clean up messes, authority and the title to match the job. Vice President was a title for Kamala Harris, but you know an even better one? President of the United States of America. Let's go get him!
Former chair and CEO of American Express, current chair and managing director of General Catalyst, Ken Nault.
My fellow Americans, 17 years, I ran American Express, one of the greatest companies in this country. America has thousands of great companies, more than any other nation in the world. And that's not by accident. The United States is the best place in the world to do business because of the values on which our country was built. Democracy, the rule of law, free and fair elections, the peaceful transfer of power. As a business leader, I have seen firsthand why democracy is so important. Democracy provides the foundation upon which American business and our economy depend. Character and values matter. In business, nothing is more important than trust. In America, we have to trust our president to protect democracy. We have to be certain he'll follow the law and serve the nation themselves. Business requires stability and certainty that our democracy endure. Our economy and democracy are tightly linked. Only grow stronger when Americans, despite our differences, are willing to work together. At this moment, when our politics pits one group against another, that's remarkable about Kamala Harris. She is for all Americans. She understands it's possible, in fact necessary, for a president to be both pro-business and pro-worker. Kamala Harris understands that government must work in partnership with the business community. She knows that a market-based economy is strong and effective government. Kamala Harris understands that we need to help entrepreneurs turn good ideas into thriving companies, that we can create good jobs by helping manufacturers expand. Kamala Harris believes in growing the economic pie for the benefit of current and future generations. Unlike her opponent, she knows the way not to build an advanced economy is a broad tariff that would only raise prices, hurt consumers and businesses, and costs. She knows the way not to do it is to give people like me a tax cut when that money should be invested to grow the middle class. If you want to lead, you have to be willing to serve. Kamala's vision for the economy serves us all. She has demonstrated throughout her career that she wants to serve all people and wants all Americans the opportunity to work to achieve the share of the American dream. Our goes up and down, but the reason America, the strongest nation in the world, is because of commitment to something bigger than ourselves. Commitment to each other, to democracy. What this election is about. It's more choice between two parties or sets of policy. It's a choice about who we're going to be as a country. In his words and actions, Kamala Harris's opponent has shown us that he does not believe in our democratic values, and he will only to serve himself and his desire for vindication and vengeance. Kamala Harris will face the facts. She will navigate this, the greatest country in the world, through the inevitable challenges, while also leading with the hope values that America was founded on. Kamala Harris understands that the role of a leader is to instill hope, to repudiate of fear, and focus on ensuring that the best days are ahead of us. She believes in America, its principles, the hopes and dreams of our people, and the promise of our future. This is why I believe Kamala Harris should be the next president of the United States of America. Bless America.
Hey man, did what he had to do. Got a pop good.
Repeal Obamacare.
Donald Trump and again threatened to repeal Obamacare.
This would lead to Americans having their health taken away.
There are about 19 million people with coverage through med expansion, another 16 million enrolled through the ACA's health insurance marketplaces. You'd probably be talking about many millions of people becoming uninsured.
Biggest, we're losing the safety net of pre-existing conditions coverage.
What happens if you burns?
Our son would die.
What makes you think this a hollow threat? This is one of the few campaign promises actually tried very hard to keep. So we better believe him. He says he's coming after this.
Even if you have insurance from your employer, you will be affected because your premiums would be going up.
We're looking at a lot of people who could lose their health insurance.
Please welcome New Mexico Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham.
Good evening, America. Michelle Lujan Grisham, Governor of the great state of Mexico. And in my state, I like things spicy, a little chili, everything, a little kick in our campaigns. And know you, we are feeling en fuego now. We are fired up to elect Kamala as President of the United States. This election is about protecting our democracy and securing our freedoms, including the right to a full quality health care. Now, this issue is personal, Vice President Harris, whose mom passed away at battle with colon cancer. And it's personal. At 2 years old, my sister was diagnosed with a tumor that was incurable and made her uninsurable by the time she was 3. And it's personal to Americans across the country who know what it's like when someone they love gets sick. Donald Trump and J.D. Vance want to dismantle our healthcare system, repeal the Affordable Care Act, and eliminate protections for pre-conditions. Either these guys don't get it or they just don't care. You know who gets it? Kamala Harris gets it, and she cares. As Attorney General, she took on drug companies that jacked up prices and hospitals that overcharged patients. And when Republicans tried to kill the Affordable Care Act, she stood up in this voting not just no, but hell no. And Kamala Harris hasn't just stopped Republicans from making our healthcare system work. She fights every day to make it. And no, I spent 20 years working to get the ability to negotiate lower drug prices. As Vice President, Kamala Harris delivered. You know what Donald Trump delivered? Junk plans, higher premiums, and abortion bans. If you don't think a second term would be worse, then I've got a box of Trump steaks to. We have not just a better choice. America, we have the best choice. Yes, we do. Kamala Harris will protect your right to care. She'll cap drug costs. She'll go after corporate price gougers and ensure every woman who needs it can access reproductive health care. That's the president I want. And that's the president America needs. And with your help, that's the next president of the United States. President Kamala Harris.
I love you too. Y en español, los quiero. So, my mom, like Kamala's mom, when my mom died in 2021, Kamala called me. She had lost her mother to cancer in 2009. Kamala helped me navigate my grief. She said that heart are the price for having loved and how I wish others could be here to see this moment. In the next 4 years, America will invariably have moments of great sadness and pain in our country. Some will be natural disasters. Some will be man-made disasters. We need a president who can not only be commander-in-chief, but also consoler-in-chief. We need a president with empathy, capable of lifting us up when we are down. We need a president who is capable of giving us a big, great hug when we need it. That is Kamala Harris. Donald Trump is only capable of two things: a grudge and a golf club.
When Kamala was first running for district attorney, and people were like, "Oh, I don't know if she's tough," and I just had to laugh because I'm like, "You don't, sister."
Kamala had been a hard and tough prosecutor in Alameda County, prosecuting men who were young girls and rapists.
Kamala wanted to make sure that murderers and child abusers need meaningful accountability and consequences for those acts.
One of the cases that she had early in her was where a man had scalped his girlfriend. She ended up getting a conviction, getting justice for a woman.
She came to San Francisco to protect victims, and she was the district attorney of San Francisco. Kamala knew to be smart on crime, and if hell, no one else was going to, she was going to do it.
If I'm going to keep my promise to you to keep you safe, better to talk with you about what I'm doing in terms of crime prevention. Investing in people coming out of prisons is the smart thing to do for law enforcement. Forget that it's just the right thing to do.
That was a young Kamala Harris. She's only gotten worse. I've never seen her back down from a fight, and when she fights, she wins.
When Kamala became Attorney General, she wanted to protect people, but also to fundamentally pursue justice.
Being smart on starts with being tough on violent crime.
A statewide perspective, I think we were concerned about the rise of violence.
In San Joaquin County, we saw this tremendous change in unity, and it hit us like a wave. We saw an increase in human trafficking, narcotics, and guns.
Let it be to anyone who would menace this state with violence, those who prey on the weak and the vulnerable. Justice swift and certain in the state of California.
always hunting the kingpins, but we didn't have partners with DOJ or FBI or DEA or law enforcement agencies. Now we all work collaboratively to help all the counties in California because of destabilized organized crime, disrupt these of guns, human beings, and narcotics.
We are here this afternoon to announce the shutting down of the biggest and most organized threats to the safety of Valley.
I really think of her as fearless, as a fighter.
Kamala just perseveres, and mommy would say it's too of an excuse. Making excuses is a failure, not only to take responsibility, but to take action. If the will, the desire, the passion, the commitment, there is no challenge that is insurmountable.
Please welcome the Democratic nominee for Senate Maryland, Angela Alsobrooks.
Good evening, America, and hello, Maryland. People like me, thank you. People like me, stories like mine, usually make it to the United States Senate, but should. I'm the proud granddaughter of a housekeeper, Sarah Daisy, who raised her 3 children in a 1-bedroom apartment. It was her dream to work in government to help people. That meant taking a typing test, but she didn't know how to type. She couldn't afford a typewriter. So she put a white piece of paper on the refrigerator and drew a keyboard on it. And she stood in front of that refrigerator and taught herself to type. Took the test, passed it, and got the job she dreamed of. I am her legacy. And tonight, I am a candidate for United States Senate from the great state of Maryland. I've always been inspired by women, grandmother, women who imagine a better future and then have the grit to make it a reality. One of those women is a friend, a mentor, and a role model. That woman is Kamala Harris. Let me tell you about the Kamala I've known for 14 years. I first heard about her in 2009 when I was running for state's attorney in Prince George's County. I read a story in Essence magazine about a district attorney in San Francisco using new ideas to keep her community safe. Few had a better record prosecuting violent crime. She put rapists, child molesters, and murderers behind bars. But what she knew that violent crime accounts for about 30% of all crimes. For the 70% that are nonviolent, she created a first of its kind program called Back on Track. After serving and pleading guilty, these low-level offenders will get the job training, GED help, and tips they needed to find a job. The result? The recidivism plummeted. Now, after reading about this sad district attorney, I talked nonstop about her on the campaign trail. 2 days after I election, my phone rings. It's Kamala Harris calling to congratulate me and ask how she could help. She helped me bring back on track to Maryland. And when crime went down and economic growth went up, Back on Track is now a national model. Now Donald Trump says, if Kamala Harris is elected, guys will treat her like a play toy. Do you know who else thought that? Drug cartels she busted. The big oil companies she for polluting. The big banks that she made $20 billion to homeowners. Getting justice for others isn't a power trip for her. It's a sacred cause. And hear me, Kamala Harris knows how to keep criminals off the streets. And come November, with your help, she'll keep one out of office. Ever since Donald Trump rode down that ridiculous escalator, we as a nation have felt trapped. Every national decision has been made in react to this one man and his extremist MAGA movement. We are still frozen by the fact that Donald Trump might once again power. And it's not just our politics that it's our imagination. And Kamala came along. Kamala reminded us that we don't need to fear not the future, not that man. This moment to leave Donald Trump, he belongs in America's past. We stand with Kamala Harris because we as a country are not going back. For the ancestors at lunch counters and made sure that we all had the vote. We are not going back. For the mamas and grandmas could control our own bodies. We are not going back. For the parents who work from can't see in the morning until can't at night, not so that they will have a better future, but so that their children will have a better life. We are not going back. When facing an obstacle, my mother has often said to me, your faith is stronger than your fears. Tonight, our faith is stronger than our faith in the promise of America, in the American idea, in the American vows that we share. Faith that we, the people, can use a new leader, a better future for people. Faith that as our days and challenges have sometimes felt, it's always darkest before the dawn. We know that we can endure for a night as joy cometh in the morning. Morning is coming. Morning is coming. And that day will be led by Kamala Harris. So much.
Please welcome Mesa, Arizona Mayor John Giles.
Good evening. I have a confession to. I'm a lifelong Republican. So I feel a little out of place tonight, but I feel more at home here than in today's Republican. The old party has been kidnapped by extremists and devolved cult. The cult of Donald Trump. Trump doesn't know the first thing about public service, like he acts purely out of self-interest. We all need an adult in the White House. And what happens when we don't have one? Trump made a lot of promises: unlimited economic growth, American manufacturing reborn, a secure border. Donald Trump was all talk. He wanted us, but he couldn't deliver a thing. But these days, my city of Mesa, Arizona is on the move. I'm going to every single week, all because Joe Biden and Congress reached across the aisle and they delivered for the conservative community and countless more across the country. My hero, McCain, taught us to put country over party. And that's how Vice President Harris and Governor Walz will lead too. I have an urgent message for the majority of Americans who, like me, are in the political middle. John McCain's Republican Party is gone, and we don't owe a thing to what's been left behind. So let's turn the page. Put country first. Let's put adults in the country deserves. Thank you.
It's our dream to have a large family.
Being a parent, it's the most important thing in my life.
For decades, Americans have turned miracle of IVF treatments.
She felt like a true.
The fact that she was able to build a family, that's why I do.
Without IVF, I don't know how this would have been possible.
Treatment gives many patients an opportunity to have a family.
I love that I can help people every day become parents.
But a party that pretends pro-family wants to put a stop to this. They are attacking the right man and start a family.
It's unthinkable.
They may never have the family that they've dreamt of.
In the U.S. Senate,
Republicans, a Democratic bill that would have established protections for in vitro fertilization.
Mr. Vance, no.
If Republicans actually cared as much about protecting IVF, this would have been a simple yes vote.
Family means support.
To me, family is your whole world. It's the life that you build.
IVF made my family.
My heart whole.
It made my life full.
It made my life.
It made my life.
And we will always fight for you, for your family, for your freedoms, and for your future.
Kamala Harris, Tim Walz honor the freedoms of all families to make decisions what is right for them, for this generation and generations.
Please welcome Illinois Senator Tammy Duckworth.
Hello, Chicago! Hello, Chicago!
You know, I went to war to protect American rights and freedoms. So I take it when a 5-time draft dodging coward like Donald Trump tries to take away my rights and freedoms in return, especially when it concerns my daughters. My gamer girl Abigail and queen of the monkey bars Miley are everything to me. But they would never have been born without access to reproductive care. Because after 10 years of struggling with it, I was only able to have them through the miracle of IVF. But now, Trump-Thai Woman Crusade has put other Americans to have their own families at risk. Because if they win, Republicans will not stop abortion. They will come for IVX. They'll prosecute doctors. They will shame and spy on women. And if you think that's far-fetched, just look up what happened in Alabama last year. So let me say to every would-be parent, I see you. I'm with you. And together, in November, we'll send a message to old Cadet Bone Spurs. Stay out of our doctors' offices, and when you're at it, out of the Oval Office too. Look, the struggle with infertility was more painful than any wound I earned on the battlefield. So how dare a convicted felon like Donald Trump, women seeking health care like they're the ones breaking the law? How dare J.D. Vance cite childless women on cable news, then vote against legislation that actually helped Americans to start families? How dare the GOP endanger the dreams of countless vets whose combat wounds prevent them from having kids IVF, punishing our heroes for their willingness to serve? It's simple. Every American deserves the right to be called mommy or daddy without being treated like a criminal. Kamala Harris believes that. Let's make some history and elect her in November. Bless America.
This is my dad, Doug. He was raised in Jersey, moved to LA when he was 16. These are his parents, Barb and Mike. They think he walks on. This is what he wore to his bar mitzvah. Here's him at summer camp. They voted him most athletic, so he says. This is a photo McDonald's used when he was Employee of the Month. It hung on our wall for years. My dad is a lawyer, a really good one. My mom called him the crisis guy because everyone's first call. My parents split when I was in middle school, and that wasn't easy. That's not easy for any kid. But it helped that my parents and we all kept hanging together. We grew closer. He met Kamala, the blind date that would dramatically change all lives forever. It was my senior year of high school. I would laugh watching them fall in love, acting like teenagers. In 2014, Kamala became Mamala. She took over Sunday night dinners and taught Doug how to actually cook. Our blended family wasn't used to politics spotlight, but when Kamala became senator, we were all excited to stop, especially my dad. Then Kamala became vice president. It felt like Doug was a bit out of Capitol Hill. I thought, what is my goofy doing here? But he embraced it. He left his practice after being a lawyer for 30 years. That was tough. I was so proud to watch him do it. By our side, an example of true partnership. I just got married myself, and he's inspired me as a new husband. Anyone who really gets close to him knows he's kind, loving, and fiercely protective. I mean, just look at this face. This my dad, the first second gentleman in the history of this nation. He's found his voice around the issues that matter to him.
You have no choice but to speak up and speak out.
Epidemic of hate, including a crisis of anti-Semitism in our country and around the world.
What we're doing on reproductive freedom and freedom in general, just outrageous.
And next, he's gonna make it again as the first gentleman. I can't wait for everyone to know why we all love him. He's the glue that keeps this together. We might not look like other families in the White House, but we are ready to represent all families in America.
Please welcome my dad, the second gentleman of the United States, Doug Emhoff.
Thank you. Give it to me now. I want me to give this speech. He just. Thank you so much. Hello. Thank you. Hello to my big, beautiful, blended family up there. I love you so much. Aren't you proud of Cole? Wow. And a special shout out to my mother. I see you. My mother is the only person in the whole world who thinks Kamala's the lucky one for marrying me. And to Kamala, who we just saw where she is. She's out on the trail, listening and talking with voters. Honey, I can't wait to come back to Chicago because we're having a great time here. I love you so much. I'm so proud of how you're stepping up for all of us. But that's who she is. Wherever she's, However she's needed, Kamala rises to the, and she did it for me and our family. Now that the country needs her, she's showing you what we all know. She's ready to lead. She brings both joy to this task, and she will be a great, all be proud of. Now, I'm the son of two Brooklynites, Mike and Barb. They together almost 70 years. My dad worked in the shoe business in Manhattan. He moved our family out to New Jersey. Where's New Jersey? I see you out there. When I was a little kid. And in a lot of ways, I had a typical Jersey suburban childhood. I found the neighborhood. I took the bus to Hebrew school. I rode to Little League practice in the way back of my coach's wood-paneled station wagon. Did well. We got to have a Slurpee after. In my neighborhood, everyone left their garage door open. Wherever you ended up at dinner time, that's the family that you. Everyone took care of everyone else. And the guys I grew up with are still my best friends. The group chat is active every day, and it's probably blowing up right now, guys. When my dad had to get a new job, we moved across the country to LA. Money was tight. Hey, California. Money was tight, so I worked at McDonald's in high school, some extra cash. Not only was I employed, but I still have the frame picture, which you just, and there was a ring, golden arches and all. And then I waited tables, parked cars, working full time so I could afford to go to college part-time. And thanks to partial scholarship and loans and a little help from my dad, I got myself through law. And I got my first job as a lawyer, which is also where I met the guys in my fantasy football league. And a lot has changed in our lives since the early 90s, but my team name is still Nirvana. Yes, after the band. I worked hard, and I love being a lawyer. By the way, I still get to be part of the profession by teaching students at Georgetown Law School. I got married, became a dad to Cole and Ella. Unfortunately, I went through a divorce, but eventually worrying about how I would make it all work. And that's when something unexpected happened. In 2018, I walked into a contentious client meeting. We worked through the issue, and by the end of the meeting, the now happy offered to set me up on a blind date, which is how I ended up with Harris's phone number. Now, for generations, people have debated when to call the person you're being set up with. And never in history has anyone said 8:30 a.m. And yet, that's when I dialed. I got Kamala's voice, and I just started rambling. Hey, it's Doug. I'm on my way to an early meeting. Again, it's Doug. I remember I grabbed the words out of the air and just put them back in my mouth. And for what seemed like far too many minutes. By the way, Kamala saved that, you know? And she makes me listen to it on anniversary. But that message wasn't the only usual thing about that day. Now, Kamala, who normally would have been hard at her office, just happened to be waiting at her apartment for a contractor to do some work on her kitchen. I was eating at my desk, which was not a regular occurrence for a busy lawyer like me. Appreciated a good business lunch. But she called me back, and we talked for an hour. We laughed. Well, you know that laugh. I love that. And maybe that counted as our first date. Or maybe it was that Saturday night when I picked her up and told her, buckle up, I'm a really bad driver. Because you can hide anything from Kamala Harris, so you might as well own it. As I got to know her better, I fell in love fast. I learned what drives Kamala. And it's what you've seen the past 4 years, and especially these past 4 weeks. She finds joy in justice. She stands up to bullies just like my parents taught me to. And she likes to see people do well. Hates when they're treated unfairly. She believes this work requires a basic curiosity in just how people are doing. Her empathy is her strength. Over the past decade, Kamala has connected me more deeply to faith, even though it's not the same as hers. She comes with me for high holiday services, and I go to church Easter. I get to enjoy her mom's chili relleno recipe every Christmas, and she makes a mean brisket for Passover. It brings me right back to my grandma's apartment in Brooklyn, you know, the one with the plastic-covered couch. But Kamala has fought.
Her mother moved from India at 19. It's why she taught Kamala about justice, about the obligation to lift others up, about our responsibility to give more than we take. She'd often taught her, don't sit around and complain about things, do something. So, with that voice in her head, Kamala went out and she worked hard in school, graduating from HBCU, earning her law degree at a state school. And then she went on to work for the people, fighting to hold lawbreakers, strengthening the rule of law, fighting to get folk wages, cheaper prescription drugs, a good education, decent health care, child care, elder care. From a class household, Kamala worked her way up to become President of the United States of America. My girl, Kamala Harris, is more than ready for the moment. She is one of the most people ever to seek the office of the presidency. And she is one of the most dignified. A tribute to her mother, to my mother, and to you two. The embodiment of the stories we tell ourselves about this country. Story is your story. It's my story. It's story of the vast majority of Americans trying to life. Look, Kamala knows, like we do, regardless of where you come from, what you look like, who you love, how you worship, or what's in your bank account, we all deserve opportunity to build a decent life. All of our contributions deserve to be accepted and valued. Because no one has a monopoly on what it means to be an American. No one. Kamala has shown allegiance to this nation, not by spewing anger in this, but by living a life of service, always pushing the doors of opportunity open to others. She understands that most of us will never afford it the grace of failing forward. We never benefit from the affirmative action of generational wealth. If we bankrupt a business, choke in a crisis, we don't get a second, third, or fourth chance. If things don't go our way, we don't have the luxury of whining or cheating to get further ahead. No. We don't get to change the rules so we always win. We see a mountain in front of us. We don't expect there to be an editor waiting to take us to the top. No. We put our head down. We get to work. In America, we do something. And throughout her entire life, that's what we've seen from Kamala Harris. The steel of her spine, the steadiness of her being, the honesty of her example, and yes, the joy, laughter, and her light. It couldn't be more obvious. Of the two major candidates in this race, only Kamala truly understands the unseen labor and unwavering commitment that has always made America great. Now, unfortunately, we know what comes next. We know they're going to do everything they can to distort her truth. My husband and I sadly know a little something about this. For years, Trump did everything in his power to try to make people feel us. See, his limited view of the world made him feel threatened by the existence of two hard-working, highly educated, successful people who happen to be Black. Wait. I want to know who's going to tell him that the job he's seeking might just be one of those Black jobs. Look, it's his same old con. His same old con, doubling on ugly, misogynistic, racist lies as a substitute for real ideas and solutions that will actually make people better. Look, because cutting healthcare, taking away our freedom to control our bodies, the freedom to become a mother through IVF, like it, those things are not going to improve health outcomes of our wives, mothers, and daughters. Shutting down the Department of Education, banning our books, none of that will prepare our kids for the future. Demonizing our children for being who they are and who they love. Look, that doesn't make anybody's life. Instead, it only makes us small. And let me tell you this, going small is never the answer. Going small is the opposite of what we teach kids. Going small is petty, it's unhealthy, and quite frankly, it's unpresidential. So, why would any of us accept this from any seeking our highest office? Why would we normalize that type of backward leadership? Doing silly demeans and cheapens our politics. It only serves to further discourage good, big-hearted people to get involved at all. America, parents taught us better than that, and we deserve so much better than that. That's what we must do everything in our power to elect of those good, big-hearted people. There is no other choice than Kamala Harris and Tim Walz. No other choice. But as we embrace this renewed sense of hope, let us not forget the despair we have felt. Let us not forget what we are up against. Yes, and Tim are doing great now. We're loving it. They're packing arenas of the country. Folks are energized. We are feeling good. But remember, there are still many people who are desperate for a different outcome, who are ready to question and criticize every move, who are eager to spread those lies, who don't want to vote for a woman, who will continue to prioritize building their wealth over ensuring that everyone has. So no matter how good we tonight or tomorrow or the next day, this is to be an uphill battle. So folks, we cannot be our own worst enemies. Oh, see, because the minute something goes wrong, the minute a lie takes hold, we cannot start wringing our hands. We cannot be Goldilocks complex about whether everything is just right. And we cannot indulge our anxieties about whether this country will elect someone like Kamala instead of doing everything we can to get someone like Kamala elected. And Tim, they have lived amazing lives. And I am confident that they will lead with compassion, inclusion, and grace. But they are still only human. They are not perfect. And like all of us, they will make mistakes. But luckily, y'all, this is not just on them. No, this is up to us, all of us, to be the solution that we seek. It's up to all of us to be the antidote to darkness and division. Look, I don't care you identify politically, whether you're Democrat, Republican, Independent, or none of the above. This is our time to stand up for what we know in our hearts is right. To stand up, not just for our freedoms, but for decency and humanity. for basic respect, dignity, and for the values at the very foundation of this democracy. It's up to us to remember what Kamala's mother told her. Don't just sit around and complain. Do something. So if they lie to her, and they will, we've got to do something. If we see a bad poll, and we will, we got to put down that phone, do something. If we start feeling tired, if we feeling that dread creeping back in, we got to pick ourselves up, water on our face, and what? We only have 2.5 months, y'all, to get only 11 weeks. Make sure every single person we know is registered and has a voting plan. So we cannot afford for anyone America to sit on their hands and wait to be told. Don't complain if no one from the camp has specifically reached out to you to ask you for your support. There is simply no time for that foolishness. You know what you need to do. Consider this to be your official ask. Michelle Obama is asking you, no, I'm telling y'all to do things. Because you all, this election is going to be close. Some states, just a handful, listen to me, a handful of votes in every state could decide the winner. So we need vote in numbers that erase any doubt. We need to overwhelm any effort to suppress us. Our fate is in our hands. In 77 days, we have the power to turn our country away from the fear, division, and smallness of the past. We have the power to make our hope with our action. The power to pay forward the love, sweat, and sacrifice of our mothers and fathers, all those who came before us. We did it before y'all, and we sure can do it again. Let us work like our lives depend on it, and let us moving our country forward and go higher. Yes, always higher than we've ever gone before, and elect the next president and vice president of the United States, Congress, and Tim Walz. Thank you all. God bless. Now, before I go, I have one more job tonight. Yeah, one more job. You all, thank you for all the love, but it is my honor to introduce somebody who knows a whole lot about hope. Someone who has life strengthening our democracy. And let me tell you, as lives with him, he wakes up every day, and thinks about what's for this country. Please welcome a 44th president and the love of my life, Barack Obama.
Hello, Chicago! Oh. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. That's enough. Thank you, thank you. Chicago! It's good to be home. It is good to be home, and I don't know about you, but I'm feeling fired up. I am feeling ready to go. Even if I am the only person stupid enough to speak after Michelle Obama. Feeling hopeful because convention has always been pretty kids with funny names who believe in a country where anything is possible. Because we have a chance to someone who has spent her entire life trying to give people the same chances America gave her. Someone who sees you and hears you and will get up every single day and fight for you. The next president of the United States of America, Kamala Harris. It's been 16 years since I had the honor of accepting this nomination for president. And I know that's hard to believe because I have not aged a bit. True. And look back, I can say without question that my first big decision as your nominee turned out to be one of my best. And that was asking Biden to serve by my side as vice president. Other than some common Irish blood, Joe and I come from friends, but we became brothers. And as we worked together for 8, sometimes pretty tough years, what I came to admire most Joe wasn't just his smarts, his experience. It was his empathy and his decency and his hard brilliance, his unshakable belief that everyone in this country deserves a fair shot. For the last 4 years, those are the values America has needed most. At a time millions of our fellow citizens were sick and dying, we needed a leader with the character to put politics aside and do what was right. At a time when our economy was reeling, we needed a leader with the determination to drive would become the world's strongest recovery. 15 million higher wages, lower healthcare costs. At a time when the other party had turned into a cult of personality, we needed a leader who was steady and brought together and was selfless enough to do the first thing there is in politics, putting his own mission aside for the sake of the country.
11. All right, y'all. I'm about to end it. Thank you so much for joining me. Yeah. Who? All right, we're gonna end it. I'm sorry y'all fell asleep. Let me get on up out of here. Y'all be good. Peace.